they think are victims. All women are powerless. They don't see us as individuals. That's why I appreciate what Elon Musk has done so much. He's taken a very courageous stand for the First Amendment. The man, they're beating on him like he stole Christmas. But he's tough. He's tough as a pine knot, and the man's got guts. He's got oranges the size of beach balls. And thanks to Elon Musk. Thanks to Elon Musk.
You're right.
We're going to have to get some new conspiracy theories because the old ones turned out all to be true.
Well,
they told us that they weren't censoring on Twitter, and that it was all a conspiracy theory. Well, Elon Musk has demonstrated otherwise, and I just wanted to give a tip of the hat to him.
The worst thing they did is the FBI was meeting with every big tech company weekly in the lead up to the 2020 election, warning them, well, you might have hacked materials. There might be a disinformation campaign from foreign adversaries. If you see anything on Hunter Biden, for example, it's probably not true. You're not going to want to disseminate that information. Isn't that the FBI putting their thumb on the scale of a presidential election weeks outside of that election? And doesn't it sound like they put their thumb on the scale in 2016 as well? How often is the FBI going to be influencing the outcome of our presidential elections?
AOC just got humiliated at the box office, and Senator John Kennedy is torching the disaster like only he can. If you're tired of the media protecting the radical left, hit like, subscribe to Right Focus, and stay locked in because this breakdown is going to expose exactly what they don't want you to hear.
And now far-left climate warrior, and that's Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, wasn't seeing much green at the box office over the weekend, reportedly raking in an average of $80 per theater for her climate documentary, To the End. Now, the documentary follows far-left activists as they try to get climate legislation passed in Congress. As it turns out, the climate cult's agenda may not be as popular as Democrats and the media mob and their allies there want you to think, because it appears the documentary is going straight into the recycling bin. Anyway, here with more, Louisiana Senator John Kennedy is with us. So if you look at the number, this movie grossed less than $10,000 on its opening weekend. So you're averaging $80 per theater. Now, you don't have to be a mathematician from MIT or Harvard, Senator, to figure out here that this movie is a flop and a disaster. The question is, what does that tell us about the American people's attitude towards climate alarmism?
The movie about Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Sean, makes me appreciate Elon Musk that much more. And here's what I mean by that. The people who have made the Congresswoman's movie, she had another one before that was on Netflix, are part of what I call the media entertainment industrial complex. They're not only entertainers. I'm including many digital newspapers, many paper newspapers, many mainstream television networks. These are folks who only present to the American people one point of view. And that's the point of view of Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. Many of the Congresswoman's supporters don't like America. They think America was wicked when it was founded. It's even more wicked today. They think the American people, or at least millions of them, are racist and misogynistic and ignorant. Many of these supporters of the Congresswoman assign people to a status. They don't see us as individuals. All white people, for example, they think are racist. All black people they think are victims. All women are powerless. They don't see us as individuals. That's why I appreciate what Elon Musk has done so much. He's taken a very courageous stand for the First Amendment. The man, they're beating on him like he stole Christmas. But he's tough. He's tough as a pine knot, and the man's got guts. He's got He's got oranges the size of beach balls. And thanks to Elon Musk. Thanks to Elon Musk.
You're right.
We're going to have to get some new conspiracy theories because the old ones turned out all to be true. They told us that they weren't censoring on Twitter, and that it was all a conspiracy theory. Well, Elon Musk has demonstrated otherwise, and I just wanted to give a tip of the hat to him.
The worst thing they did is the FBI was meeting with every big tech company weekly in the lead up to the 2020 election, warning them, well, you might have hacked materials. There might be a disinformation campaign from foreign adversaries. If you see anything on Hunter Biden, for example, it's probably not true. You're not going to want to disseminate that information. Isn't that the FBI putting their thumb on the scale of a presidential election weeks outside of that election? And doesn't it sound like they put their thumb on the scale in 2016 as well? How often is the FBI going to be influencing the outcome of our presidential elections?
Well, I think Director Wray has a lot of explaining to do to the American people.
Should he be fired for not cleaning this up?
I don't know who's right or wrong, but I think Director Wray, to preserve the integrity of the FBI, and I think most FBI agents are fine people, but clearly their leadership at times has been lacking, and I think Director Wray needs to call a press conference or come before Congress and in front of God, country, and the American people explain what all this means. Because this stuff, I was just going to say, these emails on Twitter that have been revealed, they ought to make every Democrat, every Republican in America who believes in the First Amendment gag.
You know, Senator, now I have a little bone to pick with Republicans in your body, the U.S. Senate. There's been 5 occasions since 1954 where the gavel has changed hands from one party to another. Never before, under those circumstances, has the Congress, or in this case the Senate, ever gone forward with an omnibus spending bill. Right now, you've called this, by the way, omnibus spending porn. I think you're right. I want you to explain the term. But now we have Republicans willing to go along with Chuck Schumer and the radical Democrats and give them a year-long budget when all they should be doing is passing a CR, continuing resolution, so that when the new House Republican leadership gets in power, there'll be a check and balance against the insane amount of spending that's going on in Washington. Now, why would your Republican colleagues be going along with this madness?
Well, you're going to have to ask those who end up going along with it. This is what I told my Republican and Democratic colleagues 2 weeks ago. I think to get control of inflation, we have to reduce the rate of spending growth and debt accumulation. That's my goal in passing a budget. And I told the proponents of the omnibus that they're going to have to demonstrate to me, given my goal, that they can get a better deal working with the Democrats in an omnibus than waiting for a Republican majority in the House. That's what they're going to have to show to me. Now, I'm on the Appropriations Committee. I don't have the slightest idea what's in the omnibus.
Nobody does.
The omnibus almost always contains what I call spending porn and a lot of extraneous features. I want to see the bill, but they've got to prove to me we can get a better deal doing it this way than waiting on the House majority or the Republican majority in the House, and that's a heavy burden to carry, and they've got to prove it to me. Otherwise, I'm going to vote no.
There's no way they can prove that to you. You know it, and I know it. And any Republican that goes along with this is buying into Democratic madness. It's really, I can't believe the lack of understanding of what a Republican majority in the House means to spending. And they should be thinking of all of this on their own and not needing a talk show host to remind them. Senator, good to see you, my friend. Merry Christmas.
Welcome back to Right Focus. Today, we're diving into one of the biggest embarrassments the radical left has faced in a long time. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez rolled out a climate documentary, hoping it would spark a national movement. Instead, it crashed and burned, pulling in just around $80 per theater. That's not just bad. That is a complete and total rejection from everyday Americans. Now, Senator John Kennedy didn't hold back. He came out swinging, pointing out that the same people who push this kind of propaganda are part of what he calls the media entertainment industrial complex. These are the same folks who want to shove one worldview down your throat: America is evil, you're a villain if you disagree, and your individual identity doesn't matter. According to them, you're labeled first and a person second. Kennedy noted that many of these people don't see Americans as individuals at all. They place everyone into categories: white people as racists, black people as helpless victims, women as powerless. This is the kind of divisive rhetoric that fuels their agenda. And guess what? The American people aren't buying it. The box office numbers prove it. Kennedy then pivoted toward Elon Musk, praising him for being one of the only bold voices pushing back against censorship and groupthink. Musk bought Twitter and ripped the curtain back, showing the country that big tech and federal agencies were working together to silence conservative voices and bury stories that could hurt the Democrats before elections. They told everyone there was no censorship. Turns out, there was. They labeled the truth a conspiracy, and Kennedy reminded us that these same conspiracies all turned out to be true. He talked about how the FBI was meeting with tech companies on a regular basis, warning them that things like the Hunter Biden laptop might be misinformation. That's not their job. That is tightrope walking the line of influencing an election. And instead of owning up to it, the leadership inside these agencies has stayed quiet. Kennedy called on FBI Director Wray to step up and explain himself to the American people. Not behind closed doors. Not in one of these vague press releases. But in front of the entire country. He questioned why no accountability has been delivered and why Americans are supposed to just pretend this didn't happen. Then the senator hammered Congress, calling out Republicans willing to sign off on a massive omnibus bill that Democrats want to ram through before a new Republican majority arrives in the House. He questioned how anyone calling themselves fiscally conservative could vote for a year-long spending bill that keeps inflation exploding and leaves zero room for accountability. The senator made it clear: show him a better deal under this Democrat leadership than we get with a Republican-controlled House, and maybe he'd consider it. But we all know that is impossible. If Republicans sign onto this, it's not compromise. It's surrender. And Kennedy knows it. This moment matters. If you believe in America, in accountability, in the freedom to think and speak without government interference, then this fight is your fight. The American people are speaking. They rejected AOC's movie. They're tired of propaganda dressed up as entertainment. And they're sick of Washington trying to spin this nation into oblivion. If you're with us, hit like, subscribe to Right Focus, and share this video. We're keeping the pressure on, we're exposing the truth, and we're calling out the games being played behind closed doors. Stay right here, because we're just getting started.